Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Siege Captain, making a Torsion Catapult. Today, we learn a lot of lessons. We build a lot of things that don't get incorporated, but it's all a learning process. So everything we do just helps us get towards our final goal. Here you can see I'm building the ratchet system for the drawdown rope, or the rope that's going to pull the arm down. I just cut a lock and keeper here, a bar, put a hole inside a little cog, these screws attached to the crank to the cog. You can see as it turns forward it ratchets up, but then is stopped from going backwards by a little keeper there on a spring. Pretty simple concept. We're going to use like a boat winch for this, and we still might if this one's not strong enough, but I really wanted to try building it, and this is what I came up with. This system's got a lot of force to pull down, so I'm just worried if it's going to be strong enough to hold all those forces. If it doesn't, we'll probably just switch to a boat winch. Maybe I'll just build something else. I have been screwing around with forging stuff, like melting metal into ingots, and I might do sand molding of one of these cogs and see how that goes. You can see the videos on our channel of the forging, the molding into ingots. There's a couple of them, more to come. But yeah, you can see here the rope gets pulled up, and then once I release the pin, you can unwind the rope. It's a normal ratchet system, nothing too fancy. It's pretty ugly, honestly, but for a first timer, I think it's pretty neat. The wheel actually cracked when we were testing it out. These wooden wheels seem to be doing that a lot. We applied some wood glue to it, forced it in there, got a lot down there, and we're going to clamp it up, let it sit for a long time, let it dry. Hopefully that'll be strong enough. Thank God for wood glue. I wouldn't want to cut out another one of these, but that's another reason why I'm worried about the strength of it. Yeah, that's the cog actually sitting on the furnace there, the little forge that we use to melt, my dad and I. So next thing, I'm building more of those cogs and keepers. I have an idea for a torsion system using a ratcheting system, but this gets scrapped for a couple reasons. One of them, I don't think the wheels would be strong enough. Two, keeping it all aligned, like the ratchet system aligned, would probably prove to be difficult. I might try this on the later one, but on a later ballista, I should say, later catapult, and I might mount them onto a bearing and mount the bearing into the wood so they can't move around, so it stays in place. But for now, we're using wooden wheels. Like I said, these ones get scrapped, but it's interesting to see me trying to figure this out. I couldn't figure out how to cut the hole in the middle because I didn't know we had a hole saw. So my first thought was drill holes, use this saw. I was going to cut a very rough circle in it and then use files to make it look pretty. This was scary to do. The saw was bouncing all around. You just have it up on some sawhorses. Very, very sketchy. In the end, we get it cut out, and you can see how ugly it is. Good old percussion to fix everything. And you can see it already cracked. This is me trying to trace a circle for the second one to get roughly the same size. We're cutting out a 4-inch diameter circle. There it falls down to the ground. This whole system was just not thought through well. It was a dumb idea. And luckily my dad came home and he was like, we have a hole saw. And this is me using my monkey brain to figure out how a hole saw works. It even had a 4-inch diameter hole saw. This thing presented its own challenges, because once the thing gripped, like right there, I felt like I was going to break my wrist. So I propped it between my feet and applied a lot of force to the drill and just kept going. Now this cut actual circles. It was quite beautiful. It's amazing the tools they come up with and how much they can help us build. This thing had a lot of force. I was surprised at once that bit would grip and how much it would just pull around. You can see I have my feet wedged up against it and it's still trying to get out. Look at how much better that one on the right is. So we went ahead, did it the same thing on the left one there, so both of them had a nice hole. Yeah, right there, the drill got away from me. It caught wrong and just shot out. Eventually, we persevered through, and we had 2 pretty holes. This is when I realized that it had cracked. Clean down the middle. Just use some more wood glue, though. And we'll patch it right up. I fully break it so that I could apply the wood glue better and hopefully get a better seal. Learning every step of the way. Wood is a weak material. Wood's not a bad material, I just don't know how to work with it well yet. When I clamped this up, it kind of looked like a holy symbol that people would carry into battle, like the Romans insignia that they'd carry. So, a day later, fully dried. Yeah, I was going to put a bar across it for the ropes to sit on. This is the ratchet system from this side. You saw it with the pull down rope, but this is what it's going to look like. We're going to torsion it up so when it tries unwinding, that keeper will stop it. There's our holy battle symbol that you'd carry in. Yeah, all dry, stronger than before. I was always told that wood glue is stronger than the actual wood. I don't know if that's true. Tell me if it is. This is a piece of hardened like all thread, so it shouldn't bend. It'll keep up the strength. It should be strong enough to keep up against the ropes that we twist across it. My idea for all this to work was really just propped up by hopes and dreams. There's a lot of force on these ballistas, catapults. I keep saying ballista. It's a catapult. There's a lot of force put on these catapults, making these things out of wood and not being strong enough. Just wishful thinking. Here I'm cutting the holes inside the boards where the ropes will be wrapped through. Using the hole saw, a lot easier than not using a hole saw. There you go, you can see the ropes are going to go through there. That's where the ratchet system would be. That's the idea anyway. Weird seeing the faces I made. Decided here to put a board across where the torsion is going to be. Just to add some extra rigidity, some extra strength, because this is going to get pulled together with a lot of force. Put it a little bit in front of where the ropes are going to be. That way it doesn't get in way of the arm. Now, weird thing, I really like the smell of wood glue. Don't go out of my way to sniff glue. I'm not a glue sniffer, but like, catching whiffs of it, I like the smell. You guys like the smell? Is that weird to say? I don't know. So next we're cutting the bar that's going to go across the torsion lines, torsion cogs, whatever you want to call them. Using tape to mark the length that I want. It was covered in grease and oil because it was used for a garage door. I clean them off eventually, but for now it's just filthy. So here's the proof of concept with the bar laying across. The ropes will wrap over it. Those will hold them in place. Look at my fingers, just how much grease is on them from barely handling the stuff. Yeah, here I go cleaning them. Just spray them with a ton of brake cleaner. Look at how much is coming off of that. I'm fashioning my own fasteners, whatever, to hold the bar across. It doesn't need to be very strong, it just needs to hold it in place when we're winding the ropes, because once the ropes are wound, it'll be wedged in place. It'll be very secure. Use this old AC unit panel, just some tin snips. Cut these things out, put them on either side. Holds the bar in place. Beautiful work, if I do say so myself. Here I had a conundrum on which way the ropes need to be twisted. I couldn't figure out in my mind which way torsion went, and then I realized that these cogs need to be flipped around for torsion. You can see the cogs in my mind turning, trying to figure out how torsion works. I later had to look it up in a video, and you have to wrap the ropes towards the front on both sides. So one of these cogs was the wrong direction and had to flip her around. Hammer is such a versatile tool. I know it's a silly joke, cliche joke at this point, but it's true. Hammers do a lot. Here we're going to try to show how the torsion system will work. We wrap these ropes through. I was trying to explain to my cameraman how this thing worked. And it's a very tedious process, so we only did a couple wraps just to show him and you guys how this all is supposed to work, how torsion works in general. It wasn't a very good demonstration because I ended up wrapping one of the things the wrong way, or turning the thing the wrong way, because I hadn't looked up how torsion actually worked, and I haven't done torsion in a long time. But it gets the point across. So we have those wraps there, the ropes there, and you put the board in the middle of them, like so. We just lay it down, and then we begin twisting either side. See, I'm twisting mine. We're both twisting ours the wrong direction here. And I think about it for a while, and we kind of just give up because this isn't the final product, but you can see how tight those ropes get just with a couple of twists. I'm going to build an arm for some leverage to really get the ropes twisted up. But yeah, that's what torsion's supposed to do, is pull the bar forward. There's not enough ropes on there. We didn't get them tight enough. But that's the idea, and that's about what we did. This is me trying to turn it the other way again. I think this is after I watched the video. Either way, we don't have enough wraps for the board to get pushed forward. If you guys have any tips about torsion, let me know. But that's all we got for now. Thanks for watching. Tune in for episode 3 when you get to see all the stuff that we threw away from this episode. Goodbye.